Hello everyone and welcome to another video. April flew by and we only have to get through that loser May before we hit June. And you know what June means? E3. Oh wait, there is no E3 this year. Well, pour one out for E3 I suppose, but you know what? E3 was getting kind of shitty anyway, so I really am pretty indifferent to it not happening this year. But regardless of my feelings about E3, it doesn't really stop Nintendo from doing a Direct in June. So no matter what, we're probably going to be getting a Nintendo Direct around that time. And well, I would say that Nintendo's plans have drastically changed. So today we're going to do some good old-fashioned speculation and just talk about what could we possibly see Nintendo do with the rest of 2022. And also make sure that you stick around towards the end of the video because for those of you who are interested, I'm going to be discussing the future of my channel and what I plan to do with Don't Mind Joe. So please, if you care enough, feel free to stick around because I would love to share my future plans for my channel with all you wonderful folks. But anyway, let's get right into it. So, what do we know is happening this year? Well, we know that Breath of the Wild got pushed back to next year, and honestly, that to me is a big one. That's a huge holiday game for Nintendo, so in my opinion, they gotta have something decent lined up to replace that game. Because I can't just see them replacing Breath of the Wild 2 with bullshit. I mean, obviously Nintendo isn't gonna rush this game out no matter what, but I'm sure they had something in the pipeline or multiple games in the pipeline that they felt confident that if they pushed back Breath of the Wild, it wasn't going to hurt them too much this year. But we'll get to that a little bit later. What else do we know? Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out in July. Splatoon 3 is coming out in September. Advance Wars Reboot Camp got pushed back indefinitely due to real-world events, and I honestly don't blame Nintendo for this. At the time of recording this video, Nintendo Switch Sports will either be coming out soon or be out already, depending on how long it takes me to upload this one. Mario Strikers Battle League is coming out in June, as is the new Fire Emblem Warriors game, and finally Pokemon Violet and Scarlet will probably be coming out in November. Obviously there's a plethora of third-party games that will be coming to the Switch throughout the year, so I'm not going to name all those, but when it comes to Nintendo first-party stuff, it seems like we're getting a big bulk of games in the summertime, whilst the holiday season seems a little bit on the barren side. Doesn't really seem to be too much going on there, and the one game that was highly anticipated and extremely big isn't coming out. So, what could we possibly see Nintendo announce in a June Direct to get us excited for this upcoming holiday season when we've had two decent games completely pushed back? Well, one thing that I think could be a big focus this year could be just expanding the games that they already have on the system through DLC. Let's not forget that in the beginning of the year we got Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was a really big game. It sold well and was well received, and while yes, we are getting Generation 9, which looks to be basically building off of what Pokemon Legends Arceus is, but better, that doesn't mean that we still couldn't see some sort of DLC added to that game to keep it going. Maybe a new region, some new Pokemon, a little bit here and there, possibly some stuff to hype up the new generation of Pokemon. I definitely expect to see DLC for that game. I just think it's inevitable, and I think that's going to be one of the bigger announcements for this year. Maybe we'll get more DLC for Pokemon Snap. I feel like that game's already kind of been forgotten about, even though it was a phenomenal game, and I personally expected to see more DLC for it, so we may see that. I think there's a really good chance that we'll get DLC for Mario Party Superstars. That game was absolutely incredible. If you didn't see my review for it, feel free to check it out. Spoiler alert, I loved it. The game is just begging for DLC. There's so many boards they could add, more characters they could add, and hell, even mini games that they could add. It's begging for it. So I definitely can see Nintendo doing DLC for that. Obviously, we'll get more tracks announced for the Mario Kart 8 DLC. I do think that there is a fair potential for them to announce some sort of character pass or something to have to do with DLC characters for that game as well. It's less likely, in my opinion, than, say, DLC for Mario Party, but I still think it is possible that we could see character DLC come to Mario Kart 8. Kirby and the Forgotten Land could also receive some sort of DLC. It is Kirby's anniversary this year, so there's a decent chance they could try to extend the life of that game as well by doing something. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they announced DLC for a game like Mario Strikers right away. It was a pretty hype announcement to begin with, but it would definitely be exciting if we knew there was more content coming for that game, be it new stadiums or characters, and the timing would be fine because the game would be out about that time anyway, so it would be the perfect time to announce more content for that game coming within the next few months of its release. But what about new games? This is obviously the hardest thing to speculate because we have no idea what Nintendo has in the pipeline. They could be doing anything. They could announce anything. And to be honest with you, this is also the most fun part of speculation because you can just dream up all kinds of wild shit and hope for the best. As already mentioned before, this is Kirby's anniversary. It was already stated that Kirby would be getting more stuff throughout the year. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw some sort of Kirby collection where maybe older games get released together. Maybe some of the games from Game Boy or something like that. Or possibly we could see a remake of an older Kirby game, perhaps. Kirby's Air Ride! Obviously, with the giant gaping hole left behind at the end of the year with no Zelda, it would make a lot of sense for there to be some sort of announcement for something Zelda related to fill that void. I see a lot of people saying Wind Waker and Twilight Princess getting their HD remasters put onto the Switch, but honestly, I don't think that is a worthy replacement. I mean, don't get me wrong, those games are great. I love them. In fact, they're like two of my favorite Zelda games ever, to be honest. But I mean, people have played them 100 times. So, how exciting can it be that they're being released again? I can definitely see Nintendo announcing a new game done by Grezzo, another remake of some kind. Obviously, we can shoot the big names out there like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, but I don't think that would be what the game would be. I think it would be something like the Oracle of Ages and Seasons games. Similar to Link's Awakening, these were really unique Game Boy games, and they're really dated now. They could really benefit from having a nice remake a la the current Link's Awakening, and I think that we could see an announcement of that this year. Or it's possible we could get something even crazier. Maybe a remake of the original Legend of Zelda, or Zelda 2, or something wild like that. Something of that nature, I feel, would be a decent replacement for Breath of the Wild 2's absence. And while certainly Nintendo could announce a big game like Mario Odyssey 2, or any Mario platformer like that, I feel like that's a little less likely, though obviously it is still possible. We could get something, maybe a surprise announcement of a new Mario platforming game coming out in the same year of its announcement. Of course, there's also the potential of my boy Donkey Kong showing up, especially if the rumors are true about it and it's a 2D platformer like the original games. I definitely could see that being a game that Nintendo could announce and then release in the same year. And there are rumors that Nintendo is trying to push Donkey Kong a little bit more, so maybe Nintendo will put this game out and kind of give it this big, huge media push and sell it to everybody that this was always going to be a big holiday game. Of course, as a lifelong Donkey Kong fan, I'm always going to hope and wish and pray that I see a game, but I don't feel like it's super likely because it's never likely. We also have the very recently leaked Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to the NSO. That's definitely a big announcement. A lot of people especially are waiting for Game Boy Advance, so that's certainly a big announcement that's definitely worthy of a June Direct. And it'll be great to see what content we get on a Game Boy and a Game Boy Advance service on Nintendo Switch Online. But what do you guys think we're going to get? You know, you think we're going to get hit with a shocker, a surprise, maybe a game that none of us see coming? You know, a new Star Fox or F-Zero or something cool? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like. That really helps out the channel. If you really like this video and you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I put out videos at some point. This is actually a good time for me to segue into my discussion of the future of my channel. So I've mentioned it before in other videos, but I do work full-time and I have a family and stuff, and it's a little difficult for me to put out videos as regularly as I would really like to. Of course, there's also personal struggles and other things that go on in life that kind of make you not as willing to upload videos all the time. And sometimes when you get into a funk, you kind of reflect on why sometimes you don't feel like uploading videos as much as you could be doing it. When I set out to make this channel a few years ago, I really wanted to do more content surrounding my favorite games in terms of like retrospectives and maybe discussions about the lore of some of my favorite games and things like that. I wasn't really planning on doing a lot of opinion pieces and like commentary on current events in gaming, but it kind of turned into that. And then I found that as I talked about that stuff, I got views and then my channel grew. And so like I got excited about it and started to push more of that content through. When, if I'm being completely honest with you, that's not really the content that I enjoy that much. A ways back, I had made a video about Bowser and how powerful I think he is in terms of being a villain, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had making a video. I really enjoyed it, but I got really discouraged after I had published it because it didn't really get a lot of views, and it was hard for me to see a video that I put so much work into not really get a lot of attention. And meanwhile, like a video that I put less effort into, like, you know, Smash speculation videos and stuff like that, were getting like way more views and stuff. So it kind of disheartened me and put me off from making videos like that, and made me focus more on doing like Smash speculation videos and then Nintendo Direct speculation and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, like I do enjoy speculation, like that stuff's fun. And being a channel that talks about games, I'm going to be talking about the current events with video games one way or another, more than likely. But it's not something that I really, to be honest with you, want to focus on so much. Personally, I would much rather do more videos like that Bowser video, because it was just a lot of fun for me and I really enjoyed it. And I guess at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter how many views I get, because honestly, I'm a small channel anyway and I really don't get a lot of views to begin with. But it's really just about having fun and enjoying myself and putting out content that I just like working on. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's going to be a slight shift in the type of content that I put out. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to completely stop doing opinion pieces or anything like that, or talk about Nintendo Directs or speculation. I'm definitely still going to do those things, but I don't think I'm going to do them as often. And my channel is probably going to shift more into the territory of doing like retrospectives and talking about game lore and talking about characters that I enjoy and things like that. Mostly because I just feel like this is going to push me to upload more often, because I'm going to be working on videos that I actually really like working on. So, just throwing it out there that if you subbed because you like my opinion pieces and you like the speculation videos, I'm still going to be doing them. They're just not going to be as common. Most of my videos are going to be more in line of that Bowser video that I did, stuff like that. Because in the end, it's just content that I think is going to be more fun for me, and that's pretty much what I want to do. So I understand if some of you guys want to unsubscribe or whatever, if you don't feel like I'm going to put out content that you really care about, and that's totally cool. I get it. But that's why I wanted to kind of put this out there, so that way you guys can decide whether or not you want to still follow my channel with the direction that I want to go in. I'm just hoping that if I work on videos that I find to be a little bit more fun, then I'll be uploading a little bit more frequently. That way I can give you guys more content, and I can make more content that I really enjoy. I'm also planning on reestablishing my Twitch channel and hopefully streaming on YouTube a little bit more, so I guess stay tuned for that. But thanks for listening, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Every single one of you who are subbed to me, honestly, you're like the greatest. Like I said, I say it many times, I can't even describe to you how phenomenal of a feeling that it is that there are people out there who actually enjoy listening to what I have to say or enjoy watching any of the content that I make. And regardless of whether I have 100 subs or 100,000 subs, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the fact that there's people out there at all who enjoy watching and listening to my content is just mind-blowing to me, and it really does mean a lot. And I will keep making videos for you guys as long as you guys keep watching. For any of you out there who aren't a part of my Discord chat, please feel free to join. I'm going to have a link in the description below. It's really great. We're slowly growing over time, and there are some phenomenal people that are in there, like real dedicateds that are in there like every day. Great conversations. If you want to meet new people, talk about video games. Obviously, we talk about way more than games. We talk about cartoons, movies, whatever floats your boat. Please feel free to jump on in there. Plus, you know, it's a nice way to kind of like keep in contact, especially if I am going through my periods of not uploading for a little while. If you want to talk to me, we can always talk through there. But yeah, please feel free to join my Discord chat. Would love to have you. And again, thank you so much, you guys who are subbed. I really hope to have you guys go with me into the future. Whatever happens, I'm just glad to have such really awesome people going with me on my YouTube journey. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Be safe out there, and bye-bye.